I love parenting.
Parenting Clinic is what the whole world needs. I'll not miss it for anything.
Universal Parenting Clinic is the show, the real show. Join me, let us enjoy it together this week, and don't forget to subscribe.
Welcome to this week's edition of Universal Parenting Clinic. On this show today, I'll be discussing everything you need to know on disability in parenting. How to parent a child successfully despite suffering a disability yourself as a parent, and how to be a successful parent to a child that has disability. Because this topic is complex and very detailed, due to our promise to cut our weekly presentation to the lowest level possible, this week I will deal with the basic steps, and next week I will deal with the comprehensive and advanced steps in dealing with the complexities of caring for anyone with disability. As a parent, you may be saddled with the responsibilities of coping with different kinds of physical disabilities. Many parents have failed woefully in this regard, and many others have coped successfully. I would like to state from the onset that it is not a position many people would willingly wish to be, and I do sincerely pray that you will not be in that position. Sometimes, however, accidents do happen, and fate can sometimes put people in certain positions of responsibilities in life. At such times, many people have tried to play smart by dodging their responsibilities. The fact, however, is that you can be a success as a parent if you find yourself in a position to deal with disabilities. Let me state some causes of disabilities first, so we can be on the same page. Generally, you should understand that disabilities could happen by accident, which means anyone, regardless of the person's present state, may suffer from disability of any kind at any time in life. I don't wish that for you. Accidents occur through different means, which may include car accident, occupational hazards, food allergies, trip hazards, attacks, reactions to medications, and could be as a result of other forms of accidents. Disability may also be natural, in which case someone is born with certain disability at birth. Disability may also occur due to sickness, diseases, and infection. As such, nobody can actually blame anyone that has any form of disability or the other, and no one should look down on any person suffering any type of disability or someone parenting a child affected with disability. There have been cases of people who lost their vision at old age. Same for memories and legs. Many people who have vision impairment and those who are deaf were not born with such disabilities too, even those with impaired speech and walking disabilities. Some people had their arms or limbs amputated due to circumstances beyond their control. It is therefore necessary for everyone to understand this topic so as to be in an informed position to render necessary support and help. I will deal with this from two angles. How to cope with your disabilities as a parent and still enjoy good life of parenting as a parent suffering from certain disability. Please realize this fact that despite your disability, you are as good as anyone without such disability to be a good parent and to be successful in parenting. I will not dwell on this part specifically because most of the points I will state under the other part applies to dealing with your personal disability too. Let me assure you, however, that there are several cases of parents suffering from different disabilities who are having good time and enjoying successful parenting life. Your case will also end a success story. The second issue of dealing with disability is in the area of parenting a child with disability. If you find yourself or you know someone parenting a child with disability, the following approaches and actions should be well considered to make the exercise and experience a convenient one without tears. In most instances, I will state unequivocally from the onset that disability doesn't amount to inability. Don't let your disability or the disabilities of your child discourage you or drain you of parenting joy, success, and passion. You can still be a successful parent without tears despite your disability, and your child is as good as any other child despite his or her disability. The child shouldn't be treated any less human simply because of his or her disability. Every child has the right to live and be given proper parenting to excel. A child with disability shouldn't be made to suffer any discriminatory treatment simply because of any type of disability, and shouldn't be treated any lesser than the other children. Let's check these crucial points that you need to know. The first one is understand the nature of disability very well. Seek more information on the specific care process, dietary requirements, and medical needs, including medications. There may be special dietary needs that will help the child or boost the child's immune system to ensure better healthy living too. You need to know, what should that child eat? What are the foods that their child needs for healthy growth? Proper understanding will enhance your knowledge and ability to care and support the child without tears. The second one, extra care and love is required from you towards your child. Many parents despise their affected child, while many demonstrate momentary hatred for their behaviors, forgetting that it's outside their will or intention. He or she simply lacks the mental or physical capacity to behave otherwise. This is why he or she needs your love and extra care. Give every child excellent love, care, and affection. However, when dealing with a child suffering from any form of disability, please go the extra mile with love and care. It will make lots of differences and also help the healing process. The third one, don't allow frustration of the circumstances to overwhelm you, and say no to depression. Feelings of stress and agitation, shame, fear, frustration, and despair can lead to depressive circumstances. So avoid all this. Don't always throw a pity party. You are not alone in this, and you are not in any way different from the millions of people going through the same process. Encourage yourself. Be calm and happy. If you feel bad or entertain negative feelings as a result of your situation or your circumstances or the circumstances of the child, the situation will simply become worse. The fourth thing you need to know, find time for relaxation despite tight schedules and care needs, and create time for your personal needs and rest too. Many people are so engrossed in caring for people with disability such that they forget to give proper attention to their personal care. Eat your meals at appropriate times. You need to stay early to be available to care for the child. He or she needs you more alive and healthy than sick or dead. Take care of your personal hygiene and health too. I have practically monitored and observed people caring for those with disability, and I've experienced it too. And due to the challenges and difficulties, due to their love and passion, many of them abandon everything about themselves, and the significant impact can be seen. It's really challenging and stressful, and I know, because it's easier said than done, and you may sometimes not even realize how much you have abandoned your needs. But please, you still need to care for your needs too. The fifth point, give adequate attention. A child with disability requires more attention than their able-bodied counterparts. So try to give more attention because he or she needs you for specific things depending on the disability. It may involve support in eating, medication, bathing, mobility, speech, dressing, regular cleaning up, and even sitting. If you need help, seek support to meet these particular needs. But the truth is that if you miss the opportunity to render a service due to lack of attention, the consequences may be fatal. Please don't abandon this responsibility. If you are not available at any point, please do get someone to assist you. The sixth point that you need to know: create time for other commitments. As stated above in the last point, children with disability require more attention and care. If you are not careful, you will not have time for other commitments. Plan effectively and program yourself to attend to your other commitments. For instance, other children, family, work and domestic work and spouse, for instance, they also will be begging for your attention. In advanced countries, many parents of children suffering from any disability do become paid carer for the child. Check my lecture on parenting is joint responsibility. For children generally, parenting requires collaborating efforts of both parents. But with a child suffering any form of disability or where one of the parents has disabilities, the two parents must collaborate and cooperate to meet several services. The husband too may be involved in cooking, bathing, cleaning, and several other activities. Same for the wives too, interchangeably, because many things will call for attention simultaneously. The seventh point: don't isolate the child. Please, I beg you, don't do it. Many parents occasionally isolate their child with disability from the rest of the family, possibly due to shame, frustration, untidy scenes, or the child's inability to blend well or fit into the environment. Please avoid this habit. Treat the child well as one of the rest. You will be surprised at the positive effect this brings. Besides, once you accept the child and you are proud of him or her, others will embrace the child for who he or she is. It gives children with disability that sense of support, acceptance, and belonging, which help to heal quickly, emotionally, physically, psychologically, and mentally. If anyone cannot accept you as you are because of the circumstances and situation of your child or yourself, let them be. Be yourself. Be who you are. Embrace your child and give your child that sense of belonging. The eighth point that you should know today: be alert to the nature of vulnerability. As you need to know this, you need to know. Children with disabilities are generally vulnerable children, and depending on the specific nature of disability, some of them do suffer specific vulnerabilities too. So be careful to understand the fact that your child may be vulnerable at most times, so you can take the appropriate measures to prevent further complications and accidents to which he or she may be exposed.
I love parenting.
Parenting Clinic is what the whole world needs. I'll not miss it for anything.
Universal Parenting Clinic is the show, the real show. Join me, let us enjoy it together this week, and don't forget to subscribe.
The ninth point you should know: you need extra patience and understanding. Your child may be agitated, temperamental, emotional, and anxious sometimes, depending on the disability. Children with disabilities are, by the fact of their disabilities, in need of special care and support due to their challenging circumstances and challenging behaviors. So you need to be patient and you need to understand very well to be able to cope well without getting frustrated. The 10th point that you need to know: Seek reasonable child care or child support facilities for help. It could be too demanding caring for a child with disability or disabilities alone. To avoid you breaking down, you also need occasional break to rest too. So you may have alternative carers, childminders, and nursery schools. You need a very understanding spouse too, because as stated earlier, caring for children is a joint venture for both couple or partners. Relatives may also be willing to help if you ask for their support. But I want to admonish you, it is good for you to have some moments of break from the stress, and also good for your child to have other moments apart when he or she can also be with others for comfort and for relaxation, so it doesn't become too boring and burdensome. The 11th point that you should know: seek professional help to claim all available financial entitlements from the government and institutions if there is provision in your country. Most developed countries have numerous provisions to support you in caring for every child that has disabilities. You may be entitled to child benefits, disability benefits, carer support benefit, and other forms of benefits, including housing and education allowances, tax credit, or unemployment allowance due to your inability to work full-time or to work at all. You may also be entitled to salaries as carer for that child. Ignorance is not good. However, where you live in countries where those in government are not responsible to this responsibility of caring for the less privileged, then you may need to seek support from families, relations, friends, philanthropists, religious bodies you are affiliated to, or colleagues, all of which may be necessary to cater for specific needs of the child and to support you in giving the child reasonable care. This could come in ways of financial help, psychological support, social support, health support, and every other peculiar support that you or that child may need. The 12th point which you need to know on this first part of this topic is you need definitely to seek proper medical help. Each disability has specific health issues and treatment. Getting immediate medical care can cure most disabilities, and where care is not immediate, it will help to speed up the healing process. It will also help to support in reducing the possible side effects of the ailment and ameliorates the sufferings of the child and yourself as a parent too. If there is any precaution or any medication, you will get professional attention. Proper examination will help to prescribe appropriate medication and treatment too. Some disabilities also require regular checks and phased treatments. Avoid self-medication. Ignorance is also not good to deal with disabilities. Remember this very well. Disability does not amount to inability. The fact the child is suffering from one form of disability or another doesn't mean he or she cannot be an achiever in life. And it doesn't mean he or she shouldn't have an enjoyable lifestyle. There are people with different disabilities who are engineers, legal practitioners, medical practitioners, sportsmen and ladies, teachers, shoemakers, and in all other fields with recorded success stories. Disability does not also deny the individual from being married and having a family. All that is required is your understanding, your support and assistance, physically, financially, medically, psychologically, and spiritually. Whatsoever every other child can do or become in life, he or she can equally do and achieve as well, even sometimes better. Remember too, that child already has a disability, but he or she should not suffer any discrimination or deprivation by virtue of his or her disabilities. His human rights and entitlements must still be fully protected and guaranteed. The child also has the right to the enjoyment of life and dignity. Please take good and proper care of the disability in your child or in yourself as a parent, and I strongly believe all will be well with you by God's grace. Don't define your child with his disability. He will become a success. He is wonderfully and fearfully made to succeed, to excel, and with your cooperation, that child will blossom and he will fulfill destiny. She will flourish and she will also fulfill destiny. I believe you have learned something from this basic session. Next week, by God's grace, I will deal comprehensively with the advanced steps to deal with the complexities of caring for anyone with disability. Thanks to our numerous friends on Facebook who are watching this show passionately every week. Thanks also to those who have subscribed to our YouTube channel freely. Thanks to those who have bought their copy of the book, Parenting Without Tears. I also thank those who regularly presses the thumb up button, those who ensure they leave comments after watching our YouTube show, and those who always send feedback to us regularly too. I do hope sincerely that you too will join this group of people today. Please subscribe now and follow us too on other social media platforms. That's the show this week on Universal Parenting Clinic. I believe strongly that through this Universal Parenting Clinic and with proper understanding of the book, Parenting Without Tears, together we all can promote wellness in families and in the world. We can stop the tears from children, parents, and families. We can kick racism, fraud, incivility, corruption, wickedness, several addictions, violence, and the series of antisocial behaviors out of all families and the whole world. And at the same time, we can promote all the positive desires and aspirations towards the well-being of the children, parents, and the world at large. Till I come your way again next week, by God's grace, I am the parenting advocate in the house, Michael Benga Bibilari, MGB, Mr. Parenting. Please do your best to support anyone with disability, especially children or parents with disability. Think parenting. Be positive in parenting. Talk parenting. Be passionate about parenting. Don't just be a parent. Stop functioning. Be a responsible parent, a reasonable parent, a real parent, a parent indeed. Parent well.